Welcome to Stay Mobile KC, your source for inspiration on getting and staying active in Kansas City. I'm Dr. Steph with Stay Mobile Chiropractic, and I'm here today with Lex Feyh. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist at CMC Therapy Group.
Yes.
So hi Lex, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I don't.
Stay Mobile KC.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here today.
So tell me a little bit about what you do.
I am a mental health therapist. We're located in Overland Park. I am one of the play therapists in the group, but so that means that I work with kids a lot and their parents. But I also work with individuals of all ages. So young kiddos as young as 2 up to the elderly population.
Wow, you can work with children as young as 2?
Yes.
Wow. Well, the reason I had you on the show today is because of what's going on in the world right now with the coronavirus and our shutdowns, our stay-in-place orders. And I was hoping you could offer maybe some input on how people can cope. I know for myself that I've been through kind of a roller coaster of adapting to staying at home and not leaving and you know, uncertainty about the future. So
Yes. Me
so
too.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think one of the biggest things right now is to acknowledge how stressful this is on all of us. In a big way, this is something like we've never dealt with before. So one of the things that I encourage myself and others all the time is that being compassionate and graceful with yourself is one of the biggest things. So even with these tips that I can provide, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that this is so brand new to us, and just like anything that is new, it's going to take an adjustment period for us to evolve and adapt. So if you feel like you have not been doing very well, then just know that, no one is, and that you can start anytime.
I think that's a great point, is that this situation is putting us in a survival mode more than we're used to. So what is your beginning kind of tip for us?
Okay, so we really have to start with the basics. And the basics that I think of are making sure that we are paying attention to what we're putting in our body. So it can sound like something so easy as making sure that we are drinking enough water during the day. Because if we aren't, we're just adding to that place where our brain is kind of in survival mode. So even if you have a checklist of making sure that you are drinking enough water throughout the day, you're helping your body and your mind in so many ways. And we can kind of forget that water and hydration is something that is so important to us. And if we haven't drank enough water throughout the day, by the end of the day, we're going to feel dehydrated, and that makes our body ache, gives us headaches. And so water is one of the big ways that we can help ourselves.
Absolutely, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then once you're dehydrated towards the end of the day, it's hard to catch up, and it can affect your ability to sleep, or it can affect sleep if your sleep is fragile like mine is.
Yes.
I've had this, to work hard at getting enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
sleep is something that I really recommend. I'm sure you do too.
Yes.
It's huge for supporting your immune system,
Mm-hmm.
and I imagine as well your mental health.
Yes. And maybe I should have starting with a routine. Like sometimes people get panic with a schedule or routine, but it can be as easy as keeping a bedtime, waking up time, and meal time throughout the day.
All right. That structure is reassuring.
Mm-hmm. It is very reassuring.
So water and keeping a structure to your day.
Yes.
And do you have any other tips for today?
With that, if you've built a routine, incorporating some type of movement into your day. Some people, movement is a full-blown workout. And if that is not your cup of tea or what you're used to, then something as small as stretching is going to be so beneficial because we store so much stress in our bodies that stretching and paying attention to where you're holding your stress, a lot of times it's your neck, your upper back, then that can help just loosen that stress up and really take care of how we're feeling. Like there's such a brain and body connection. So if you can incorporate even 15 minutes of movement into your day, you're really helping your body out. It's a bonus if you can do that outside on a nice day, even incorporating some type of music that you enjoy that can bring you joy. It's really, really beneficial for us.
Right. And I, of course, as a chiropractor, I support movement, and that's part of my mission in making these videos, and mission in what I do is getting people active and helping them stay active. But moving your body, I know for myself, has helped my mood. I know, well, I skate roller derby, and one year I broke my ankle, and so I went from skating several days a week and working really hard to sitting on the couch. And I noticed that my biggest struggle was with my mood. Not that I didn't get to go skate, but just that I didn't have that physical outlet anymore. But the fact of the matter is our bodies are made to move. So if we can move in place, that's going to help us a lot.
Absolutely. And that's what we can get creative with the type of movement we're doing too. I know that a lot of people are catching up on Netflix series, and that's a powerful coping tool as well, but that's also a great time that you can maybe sit on the floor and just stretch. It doesn't have to be a big intimidating thing that you've never done before.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what's your next tip?
Well, the kind of going hand in hand with the body movement is like a check-in. You're kind of checking in to see how you're doing. If you are tight in your calves, in your upper neck, and back, then that might be a sign that you may not be feeling the best. And so that can also be a time to check in emotionally with how you're feeling. And that can be difficult sometimes, but if you have, like, we get into a habit of beating ourselves up sometimes when we haven't started our day in the way that we maybe hoped. And so just checking in and kind of acknowledging, like, maybe I feel the stress more today. Maybe I'm really tired. Maybe I didn't sleep as much last night. And that can give you take some relief off of you to know that maybe today isn't one of your days that you're feeling the best. And then you can know maybe what you need to do afterwards. Maybe you haven't eaten breakfast. And so maybe that's one of the reasons that you're feeling kind of down in the dumps in the afternoon. And so just it's so helpful to have an emotional check-in, and maybe you're feeling lonely, and that can lead to checking in with a friend or family member by FaceTime or the phone. But that emotional check-in can be so powerful to guide you into what you need to do next.
Maybe kind of help your day from spiraling down even farther.
Yes.
Or keep you maybe. Yes. Gently help you move back towards being on track.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
And kind of with the emotional check-in too is I like to remember that we have so much time right now. So being able to reset with yourself, and to, if you didn't start your day off with how you maybe had wanted or envisioned, that you get a reset. You can have an afternoon that looks and feels better than the beginning of your day did. And if you had a rough and tired day, just know that you get to start over with yourself the next day, and to try again, and to try to incorporate some of the things. You don't have to, whenever we get into a place of trying to be perfect or, keeping to a routine, again, we can get in that place of beating ourselves up. And, it's just so important to take a deep breath and start over with yourself. So even if that's starting over every hour, even if that's every afternoon or every day, it can be helpful to keep that in mind, so you're not having a terrible week and just having an afternoon or morning that felt kind of crummy.
Right. Yeah, I hope I'm not alone in having, those, some days are better than others, some days are easier than others. So, yeah.
Absolutely. we are really, focusing on the basics is so beneficial right now. We don't have to think that, sometimes I know that a lot of people have been struggling with feeling like that they're not doing enough or not being productive enough. But again, we are in like a pandemic and a survival mode. That's not a time that our brains have the capacity to be creative and motivated and being our most productive selves. It's just not.
So what's your next item?
My next item is something that brings you joy. And so that is very broad, but if you can incorporate something into your day that you know brings you joy, is going to be huge right now. And that can be anything from playing with a pet, reading. If you haven't given yourself the time to maybe be artistic, it's really anything, but incorporating joy into our day right now is so important. And it does not have to be extravagant. It can be playing one of your favorite songs in the morning. Anything that can just lighten your mood a little is so helpful right now. And even giving us a few minutes to not focus on all of the craziness and unknown right now can be so beneficial.
Oh, good.
Each day, what can bring us joy may look different. So there might be a day where you wake up so energized, and something that's going to bring you joy is maybe baking or organizing your house, because that is something that can bring us joy. Just know that on a different day, your joy might be something very small. So paying attention to our energy level is huge right now, as far as how we can see our day, because there are a lot of big things that bring us joy, but even if it's only a few minutes that we honor the things that we love to do, it's a huge win.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe the important thing to do is just ask yourself the question, what can I do now to bring myself joy?
Yes.
That might help me find something depending on where I'm at.
Yeah.
And how I'm feeling. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So what else have you got, Lex?
I think that I have moved through quite a bit of my list. Let me check some of the other things that I have. One of the things too that just to keep in mind is that if you have added these, if you're already doing some of these tips that I provided, just know that you're being very productive. Like, that is being productive. You're taking care of yourself. You're staying healthy, and that is a big reward right now. We should be celebrating that. Again, we don't have to have a 100% organized house right now or have gotten a ton of work done. Just taking care of ourselves and doing the best we can really is enough right now.
Well, good to know. And it's really a huge shift because, as you know, I don't know about anybody else, but I know the people that I'm around, we're all very scheduled. We have so many things, and we're always trying to fit more things into our tightly packed schedule. I know for derby skaters, for one, they'll have work, they have family, and then we have this commitment to derby, which means we're skating a lot, and we have team things going on. So I don't know about anybody else, but I find myself, I don't have open spots in my day, usually. And now all I have is open spots. So hopefully this will help other people as well. I know I found it helpful. And I appreciate your taking time to talk with me today, Lex. And I hope that we can talk again soon and maybe share some more tips.
Yes, I would love that.
Good. Well, it's really nice to talk to you, and thanks for joining in. And thank you to everybody else for listening to another episode of Stay Mobile KC. Take care.